All right. Check, test, 1, 2, 3. Let's see, what do we got there? You guys, I tell you what, I'll leave you all alone for like 20 minutes, and you've killed me off. Gee whiz. Okay. Check, test, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? There is a 10-second delay. 5, 10. Okay. YouTube is working good. Still don't know if anybody's heard me. Audio's good. Thank you, Mike. Mike, by the way, had a great chat with Rudy this morning. We'll talk about that in a minute. What did I miss? Yes, obviously you guys have gotten the message that we have for today, for this afternoon's purposes only, well, I guess only, at least for today. Check is good, but cache is better. I love it. I was getting a lot of buffering with Decast this morning, both on the on both streams, and the low speed stream and the high speed stream, the low resolution 180p and the high resolution 720p. And so I thought, well, I'll just switch over to YouTube because I had plenty of bandwidth here, and so I just thought it was an internet issue or a Decast issue. So I'll be interested if anybody has any buffering at all. In the bottom right-hand corner, as you know, there's a little, what does that little icon look like? I guess you'd call it a gear, the settings icon in YouTube, and you can use that to adjust your resolution. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think YouTube will also, Martin S. says the audio is working. Thank you, Martin. All right, good. There is a delay. There is a delay, greater than normal. The YouTube, I think, will adapt to your speed, your bit rate. So if you get a low resolution feed, it may be that's all the bandwidth you've got. There's one feed today. You can adjust it up and down. Giles says it's only a 10-second delay in United Kingdom, so that's great. Thank you. And Jens is here from Denmark. Wonderful. And let's see who else is here. Merle's here. Buddy's here. Welcome, Buddy. Martin is here. Martin, you got my email. We need to set up a training session. Giles is here. Kevin is here. Kevin, welcome. Kevin, gee whiz, I was going to email you last week and I jumped out of my head. Rich is here. Rich and I were actually going to meet up, but I got snookered and didn't get it. Bill's here. Dave's here. Yen's here. Dave's here. Dave, all right. Step Back in Time TV. Yes, I'm loving that. That's Giles. Scott James, welcome, Scott. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for the info this morning. And, oh, it reorganized itself. Chris is here. Welcome, Chris. Tommy, of course. I mean, it wouldn't be a party without Tommy. Rudy's here. Hello, Rudy. And Edward. Mike, thank you for your help this morning. And Brian D. Roberts. Brian D. Roberts, welcome. You know, it's pretty classy when somebody puts their middle initial in their chat name. I like that. I like classy. I can handle classy. All right. Mike says, if you add allow full screen code to your YouTube, full screen will work on your page. Well, heck. Why don't we just do that and see what happens? It means you guys would probably have to refresh. Let's see, 1 second, and see if we can be real fancy. It's either going to crash and burn or do great. Let's see, and I saw that somebody had posted the code in the chat room. I think that was Mike or Scott or somebody. Let's go back up there and see what we can get to. Oh, this is another Scott. Well, Scott, I'm sorry. My bad. Glad to have you, though. You're just like an old friend. Ah, there it is. Mike posted it right there. Let's copy. And of course we'll have to substitute our own stuff in there, but that's okay. I think we know how to do that. Let's search for a page. We're using WordPress, so we're searching for a page, and we're going to watch now YouTube Live, and let's just spread that out a little bit, and we'll put that code in there, and oh, huh. You added the full screen stuff there. And what is the DYTID? Don't know what that is. That's something Mike's text has there. Brian D. Roberts is new. Welcome, Brian D. Roberts. The new guy, the new kid. And I hear you know my buddy Ralph. I do. And Jill Free Press. Step Back in Time TV. And Blaise Jose Galavan Gonzalez from the Canary Islands in Spain. Blaise, welcome. All right. Let's see. Let's try that link that Mike sent. Looks like it might just work all by itself. Fingers crossed. And maybe I ought to try it first, huh? Just to see. Sit tight just a second. Yep. There we go. It worked. It worked. I think if you will refresh your browsers. Yeah, thank you, Mike. I think if you will refresh your browsers. Oh, wait, sorry. I just did a preview. Check. Well, I guess I've got 10 seconds by the time you hear this. That is the nice thing. Okay. Refresh your browser. Give it a try. Give it a try. All right. Jan L. I didn't fix it. Mike fixed it. And he stole the code and added the live screen part to it. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. It takes I was going to say it takes a village, but I really don't want to go there. Okay, how are we doing on time? We're out of time. We need to get started. We need to get started. Who else has slipped in when I wasn't paying attention? Oh my goodness. I think we've recognized everybody. Anybody, and I think everybody's been notified, but anybody that has the audio control switcher, we just rolled out an update today because we were having some problems with validation. So if you have the audio control switcher, check your emails, check your spam folders. All right, Buddy says, still referring to YouTube. I don't know what we got. Is there a problem? Let me know. By all means, let me know. So the audio control switcher, if you had a problem with validation, that is fixed. That is great. We've got a new batch of Bolt 4s coming in. So if you're interested in the Bolt 4, that's our Thunderbolt device that has 4 ports of either HD SDI or HDMI video inputs. All right, Buddy's fixed. Yay, good. And Blaze is all good. Good. Very good. All right. Well, then let's go ahead and let's make a show out of it. Unless you guys just want to chat for a second. Let's see what I missed. I know somebody was giving away all my belongings. Oh, you know what? I guess if we are on YouTube Live, that means that there could be some folks watching that don't have access to chat and don't even have access to our website. So we need to fix that first before we do anything else. Should we use a ticker for that? Let's try a ticker. You guys want to see what I'm doing? Yeah, of course you do. I would. Let's see if I got a page capture set up. No, let's do that. So we're going to go desktop capture. I think it's display 2. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is what we're doing. And oops. And I'm going to right click, pull up the title editor, and this is for the animated ticker. And what should I say? Chat in YouTube is deactivated. Definitely, yes. So are you guys having problems on Eastern Shore Broadcasting, not being able to see? Let me double check. I thought that was okay. I think that's okay. Yeah, there we go. Jill, there you go. I love it. I'm going to use that exact same thing. Jill Free Press. Okay. Oops. What have I got open? Okay. Let's try again. There we go. Eastern Shore Broadcasting / YouTubers go here. YouTubers. I love it. We'll go Ah. All right, well, let's have a look at this and see how it looks. Let's put in the title. And you guys can tell me if this is looking decent. Here we go. And let's see if we can't speed that up a little bit. All right, I took what Mike said, I took what Jill said, and I put it all up there because I think you guys are smarter than me. maybe I don't think that. Maybe I knew that. All right, let's see. What else have we botched by doing that? So let's go back to the show feed and see. All right, we've kind of messed ourselves up a little bit there. So we need to adapt. We need to adapt. Let's move our lower third up a tad. Oh, y'all can't see yet. All right, let me do it so y'all can see. All right, so we're going to take this one We're going to go to multi-view. We're going to look for our lower third, click position, and we'll just move it up a little bit. Will that be enough? And then we're going to take the Eastern Shore Broadcasting position. We'll move it up a little bit. And I think that'll give us room to put the ticker underneath it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Eventually put the link inside your YouTube event or as a card to the video stream. Yeah, now actually this is only going to work for live. You know, that's good point, Jill, because these aren't hot links and they will be part of the recording. Well, that's just tough. You know, you can't have everything. You can't have everything. But thank you for suggesting that. That was a great suggestion, and I'm sure it is going to help. Oh boy, that's a long URL. EasternShoreBroadcasting.com/watch on YouTube live. Okay, well, they'll figure it out, and when they get here, they'll understand why it is so much. Okay. All right. So who else has shown up while we were fiddle farting around here? Martin K. Welcome, Martin. Martin, my apologies in advance. Can you record vMix without the ticker? Well, that's what I was thinking, Scott. Kind of recording a clean feed. And I think I can, but I think it's going to take more. I mean, I'm sensitive to the time that you guys, cut out in order to spend with me and with each other, and I don't want to spend 20 minutes trying to do that. So we're just going to have to go with it for today, and that's the beauty of the show. Is this show is real, this show is live, this show is the kinds of things that you guys face when you're in that similar situation. And Jill, I include you with that group, and so this is the way it's got to be, I guess. What do you mean by now? He's been that a long time. I must have missed something. Oh, I see. Rich says now. Oh, Scott. You guys just don't pay any attention to me. Don't pay any attention to me. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can't make this. Brian says, I would think you would have to set up another output unless you can record single inputs. Brian, that may be the subject for a show, but that's not going to be today's show because I got to think that one through a little bit. I mean, y'all are very gracious with me, and you allow me to make all sorts of mistakes and think things through and do them live on the air because I think partially it's the humor factor, but also it's sort of the excitement of is this going to work kind of thing. So, but we're not going to do that today. We may do it in post show, but we're not going to do it today. All right, so we need to get a phone over here. And let's make sure we can get our URL for the, it's going to be http://1. I think it's 105 or 141. It may be different today. Let's check. Okay. I'm looking for the vMix shortcuts, one of which allows me to start the recorder behind me. And yes, as we are patient, send free stuff to atone. Thank you, Tommy. Yeah, yeah. Free stuff. If anybody gets free stuff, it's me. I want some free stuff. Sure, Tom, when you make mistakes, we learn. Besides, you get to laugh. That's right. I know how it goes. I know how it goes. All right, here we go. Patience, mic down, going to black. Hang in. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh golly, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. What can I say? What can I say? What a day. What a day. I'm Tom Sinclair. Welcome to Streaming Idiots. You know, I wanted to make sure you knew who I was. That's why 2 lower thirds there. No, just teasing. Today's been an interesting day. For those of you watching live, you already know the backstory. For those of you that are watching live on YouTube, the little banner at the bottom of the screen is for you. But if you're watching after the fact on YouTube, don't pay any attention to the banner at the bottom of the screen. Basically, we had to sort of bail from our regular CDN today because we were getting some buffering and couldn't figure out exactly where it was coming from. So we bailed and we decided to have a go with YouTube Live. And so we're doing YouTube Live and had to make a lot of last minute adjustments. You know me, I advise you to have a backup CDN that you're ready to use. But do I? No. What fun would that be? What fun would that be? So we've had a lot of fun in pre-show, kind of figuring out some of the nuts and bolts of it. And hat tip to Mike for giving me the code to put allow full screen in there. So if you're watching live, you can do full screen in the bottom right hand, right over there, the bottom right hand corner. And that wasn't working previously. I had to do an allow full screen adjustment to the code. So welcome to all the folks that are watching live. Welcome to those of you that are watching on YouTube live and or recorded. We hope you'll subscribe so that if you happen to miss the show or if you get here late and you want to see what happened at the beginning of the show, then come on. In fact, actually, I think the YouTube live part is going to be recorded from the very beginning of the pre-show. So it's going to end up being a really, really long show, whereas the show really is aimed at 30 minutes. Sometimes it ends up being 35 or 40. But so today's show, at least the recorded version from YouTube Live, will be recorded at 720p and below, and will include the pre-show and the post-show. So cool. And we'll also upload just the show portion at 1080p for those folks that want to watch us on their big screen TV. I don't know why you would, but you never know. So with that kind of fumbled introduction, let's dive into the show. Really excited about today's show. We've got kind of a mixed bag, and before we get into it, I wanted to chat just ever so briefly about NDI. If you haven't heard about NDI, I'm not going to go through the long description here for you, but just go to NewTek's website. Those are the TriCaster folks, and read something about NDI. It's really exciting technology. And I was thinking this morning as I was putting all this together, I've had NDI now, I guess, I don't know, a couple of months, and I've integrated NDI into my workflow so much so that I don't even think about it anymore. It's there, it does its thing like it's supposed to, and that is the mark, I think, of good technology. It's non-intrusive, it works, it makes life easier, and hey, you don't have to sweat to make it work. I'm loving this. So big thumbs up from me for NDI, NewTek. NewTek gets the Tom Sinclair Screaming Idiots Award for non-sweating technology. How about that? You've never heard of that one before, I'm sure. So I'm taking NDI for granted. Thank you, New Tech. And thank you to Martin Sinclair, my 19th cousin and CEO of vMix, for putting NDI in vMix and being an early adopter in that process. By the way, vMix is up to 17.0.0.85 as of May 25th, 2016. So if your version is version 17 but older than 8.5, you need to come on up to 8.5 because there's an update to the NDI from NewTek that's now in the vMix version 8.5. And by the way, if you have vMix desktop capture, your current version is not 0.85. Last time I checked, it was 0.66, so it doesn't look like those kind of match. So pay attention to that. Not a big deal. And in fact, don't even pay attention to it. It's not a big deal. What I wanted to start out with is one of the things that kind of has been in the news in my world. And keep in mind, if you're watching this show and this show is part of your world is really small. My world is really small. The streaming technology world is not a big world. There are not a lot of people that are interested in it. But for those that are, you know, it was a pretty big deal. At least it was newsworthy that Facebook is now has live streaming. Facebook live streaming. Okay, well, YouTube got live streaming, and I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. That's appropriate. Most people go to YouTube. Well, up until that point, everybody went to YouTube for recorded video. Now you can go there for live video. I mean, like you're going to turn on YouTube and say, what's on today? You know, I'm going to channel surf on YouTube. I don't think people are going to do that. Now, I'm a Facebook guy. I'm not an early adopter, and I'm not a big Facebook guy, but I use it to creep on my kids and my grandchildren, and to try to stay up with what's going on with friends around the country and around the world. And so it's important to me like that. I don't know that I would ever go to Facebook as a source for live video. I just don't think I would. Now, if I'm a provider, a content provider, I guess I am, I would probably still not go to Facebook for live video. But if I were cheap, well, I am cheap. Maybe I should be using Facebook. No, just teasing. Well, maybe I should. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that Facebook Live is, at least for the moment, is free. You've got 45 minutes of live video that it can actually be recorded, and so it becomes part of your Facebook page. And I think if you can't do it currently, very, very shortly, you're going to be able to stream 24/7, although they're not going to record it. It's just going to be, I think it'll record the first 45 minutes, and then after that, it'll kill that archive if you go longer than that. And hat tip to Broadcast Now, the Tech Buzz, Stephen Haywood and Marty McPadden, and Mike. I never remember Mike's name. Sorry, Mike. Anyway, those guys were talking about that yesterday on Broadcast Now, which you'll probably want to watch if you haven't already. Broadcast Now from the Tech Buzz. It's on Tuesday afternoons at, I think, 5 p.m. Eastern. Anyway, so Facebook Live. Will people go to Facebook to watch video? Or are people just cruising through Facebook and might stumble over a video? Well, when I was a fisherman, and I wasn't a very good fisherman, I would just throw a line in the water hoping that a fish would stumble on. And my son, who turned out to be a very good fisherman, he'd say, Dad, no, you got to go where the people are, where the viewers are. And people that are looking for video to view are going to YouTube. They're not going to Facebook. Is Facebook going to be able to change that? I don't think so. Is Facebook going to be able to garner a lot of live viewers through this? I think it's going to be that occasional fish that cruises by that happens to have a live feed pop up in their live feed. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it being any more than the same kind of anomaly or fad that 3D TV was 5 years ago. Everybody said 3D TV, it's the wave of the future. It wasn't the wave of the future. It was people trying to sell TV sets. And, you know, other than a 3-year-old that wants to watch cartoons, I can't imagine a regular viewer of 3D TV. Now, I've probably offended a lot of folks that like that, but I've got a 3D TV. How many times have I watched 3D? Maybe once when we first got it, just so. If you're going to go somewhere, and Tommy just said this in the chat room, if you're going to go somewhere looking for video, you're going to go to YouTube. YouTube's the #2 search engine. If you're looking for information, if you're looking for how to do something, if you're looking for, well, in my case, for this show, this technology show about streaming, you're going to go to YouTube to find out about streaming. And sooner or later, you're going to stumble on this show. Crummy as it is, there are enough of them out there. You know, it's like you know, bugs in your path. Sooner or later, you're going to step on one. And I think YouTube is the place to be. I don't think that Facebook's going to make it. We'll see. We'll watch. And there'll be some folks that say, hey, Facebook is going to be a great forum for me because I already have a big following, and it will be sort of a natural, and I can kind of pin a live show up to the top of my feed. So more power to you. If that works for you, I'm hoping it does. Let's change gears here for just a second. And if you're just joining us live on YouTube, you know, pay attention to that ticker at the bottom. It's only for the live viewers now. And you can join the chat by going to Eastern Shore Broadcasting /watch-on-YouTube-live. Or you can read like with the rest of us. Now, while we were having our disaster this morning, one of the things that happened was that I didn't get to do all my pre-show setup. So allow me for just a second. I want to talk about the Magewell USB 3.0 Dongle series. And so I got some photos for that. And here they are. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and put those up here. Let's see. Let's just go. Yeah, there we go. This is the Magewell. This happens to be the HD SDI version. As you can see, it fits in the palm of my hand. Well, it fits in the fingers of my hand. And as you can tell by the blue USB cord on the right, it's USB 3. And it's really pretty cool. This particular one right here is actually the SDI version. Plugs in one end USB 3. The other end, kind of a mini version, might even be a proprietary version, I don't know, of SDI, but it also comes with the jumper cable. You can see the jumper cable there coming out the end of it and connecting to the SDI cable, and I'll show you what it's connected to live here in just a second. And let's see, I think can I go? Yeah, and that's just sorry for the mess, but that's just a good idea of a good way to use it. It's a laptop with USB 3, and we're bringing a camera into it, and it is the way to go. Price-wise, you're looking at $300. You've got to have USB 3. I think it'll work with USB 2, but I don't think it'll work in high definition with USB 2. And why pay $300 for something that you can get a $35 easy cap to do at standard definition? They're saying in the chat room it's a trip hazard. You can navigate that. Oh, come on, guys. Gee whiz. I tell you what a bunch of weenies. Can't just tiptoe over 25 different cables. And Martin K says that it is indeed, it's an MCX connector, which he believes is micro coax, which is the little connector, but they supply that connector with it. It was not 4K, is one of the questions in the chat room. It is 1080p. 30 frames a second for sure. I don't think it's 60 frames now, and that's a good question. I'm wondering if maybe they're working on a 4K version. That would be really quick. Oh, actually, Martin says it is 60p. So 1080p, 60 frames a second is live. And let's, I've actually got it connected to this laptop back here. And so we're, using NDI, we're connecting all sorts of sources. Let's see if it's, is it live or is it Memorex? Let's see if we can make this input come up here. And yeah, there we go. Well, no. Doesn't look like we can get it. Well, let's try it. Here we go. So that is, yeah, there we go. That is actually my PTZ cam across the room that we're connected to by, it's the only SDI camera I had in the studio. I've got some converters, but didn't have time to set them up because I was doing all sorts of other crazy stuff. Yeah, there we go. We can zoom in a little bit. And we're connected HD SDI, and connected to the laptop as you just saw. And that's, gee whiz. That's it. It's pretty simple. It doesn't even have drivers. I mean, it does have drivers. I take that back. But Magewell doesn't have to supply drivers because it uses the drivers that come with Windows. And so, boom. You literally plug it in with this Asus laptop. It goes dong dong, and then pow, you've got video. It's really pretty cool. Really pretty cool. So it's kind of a makeshift review, but it's a review of something that's easy to use, and is perfect, especially for a portable setup, or if you're in a situation where you've got 4 ports of high-definition video already, and you don't want to go out and buy another 4-port card. You get the ability to plug in a 5th camera to your studio system and have that USB 3.0 dongle available for travel or taking home when you need it. It's $300. You can get it at our website, easternshorebroadcasting.com. We'll have it to you. In fact, we can even have it to you next day. So $299, I think, is actually the price. And actually, for anybody that wants one this week, starting May 25th, we'll do free 2-day shipping. Free 2-day shipping if you within the U.S. Sorry, I see Sweden is doing, yeah, all right, free 2-day shipping. Within the U.S., free 2-day shipping between now and next week's show, starting May 25th. So go into easternshorebroadcasting.com and we will send either HDMI or the SDI version. Free 2-day shipping. No, they're going great nuts in the chat room right now. It's free? No, it's not free. The shipping for 2-day shipping is free. And somebody says, I could just drive over and pick one up. That's true. You could. All right. Let's see. Where are we going next with that? This is so much fun. This is so much fun. Today's show is such a messed up deal because of all the problems that we had earlier. So it's just nice to say, well, what the heck? It is what it is. So I wanted to do a black bag today, and let's see how we're going to be able to do that. Can we do that? Can we do that, folks? Can we do that? I think we can do that. So let's do a black bag. Let's do a black bag, and we'll do our official black bag. Ta-da! It's time for a black bag. Okay. In today's black bag, we're going, and this is just a black bag is a bag of connectors and adapters and tricks that you need to have and need to know about, because you never know when you're going to have to use them. So in this case, this is a little trick to help you get your vMix production started quickly and with the right preset. And it's really, really pretty cool. So let's see, can we do this? Will this work if I do that? Yeah, okay, so now you're looking at my desktop. And over here on my desktop, don't pay attention to all this other stuff. Right there is a vMix preset. And you can see that that vMix preset has today's date, 5-25-16. And if I were to double click that preset right there, it would load vMix and load my preset. So every day when I go to start a show, I have another preset over here that I call Skype Call, because I want to have animated background for my Skype call when I'm talking to folks over Skype. I'm just bragging, that's right. So next time you have vMix up and you're running a show or running a broadcast, save a preset to the desktop and then use that preset to start your vMix for your show. That's how you do it. Isn't that cool? I like that. I like that. So let's see if we can, drum roll please. Da-da-da-da-dum. Bah! That was Tom's Bag of Tricks. Thanks to Martin K for the video. Isn't that cool stuff? And for those of you that are overseas and use a different date format, it works for any date format. It doesn't have to be the format that I use. So all the European guys are going nuts over that. That's too funny. That's too funny. We are coming close to the end of our time today together. For those of you that are watching live, you're welcome to join us in the post show. It looks like William Lee has arrived, and so William, since you are the last one to arrive, you're going to be bringing treats, refreshments to post show. So we'll talk about that in just a second. I mean, it's virtual reality. You know, what have you got in your virtual reality refrigerator? Anyway, sorry, I'm just getting a little wacky here because it's been a wacky kind of day. Coming up in 3 weeks, I think it's 3 weeks, could be 4 weeks. Anyway, coming up June 22nd, we're going to have another special guest, and his name is Rudy Ellis. Rudy is the CEO of a company called Switchboard Live. Switchboard Live is the old Joycaster. If you remember Joycaster, J-O-I-C-A-S-T-E-R, Joycaster, is that one of a couple of companies out there that will take your feed and send it out to multiple CDNs for you. Send it out to YouTube and Twitch and all the other freebies. And also to ones that you might want to pay for, like Decast or others like that. So Rudy's going to come on. He's going to talk about Switchboard Live, talk about some of the things they're doing. They're making a little adjustment in how their company is working now, and they've changed. It used to be called Joycaster, and now it's going to be called Switchboard Live. And he's got a really interesting story about where he came up with the name Joycaster to begin with. I'm not going to steal his thunder, although I'm really tempted to because it's a great story. Anyway, that's June 22nd. Rudy Ellis will be here to talk with us about how to send multiple streams by just sending him one stream. And actually, for all you cheapskates like me, some parts of his service are free, so you could utilize his services for free without paying. How's that? How's that? Free without paying. So that has brought us to the end of another exciting episode. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. If you've made it to this far in the end of the show, by all means do. Full disclosure, I'm an authorized reseller for vMix and for VidBlaster and for Magewell and for PTC Optics, and I design and build custom PCs for folks that need them in the talk show world, in the computer world, the church broadcasting world, and the sports world. Those are sort of the three main markets that we work with, but we work with all sorts of folks. We just placed one in a community TV station in Connecticut I think it got delivered yesterday, and they're all excited. They open the box. Of course, we go nuts when the box when we ship something. It's number one, it's a double wall corrugated box, and then it's full of peanuts or the inflatable plastic padding, and then inside is another box. And in this case, inside that was another box with the PC inside that. So it by gosh, it's going to arrive in pristine condition. And you end up with this giant box and all these peanuts that you'll never ever use. So if you get a PC from us, actually, you could probably sell the box. The boxes are pretty expensive, but it's worth it to have it get there without a problem. That's the whole idea. We're making solutions, not causing other problems. So if you're interested in that, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, and we can chat about it and see. You may say, "Oh, well, Tom, it's out of my budget." Well, it might not be out of your budget, or it may be out of your budget now, but it may not be out of your budget next year. So we've got a formal request for another 30 minutes of the show. Well, you guys hang around for the post show. The post show is a lot of fun, too. And for those of you that are watching today, right now, either live or on YouTube, this version, well, there are going to be two versions of this show. There's going to be the YouTube live version, which is going to run, I don't know, an hour and a half, because it'll include the pre-show, the show, and the post-show. And then that'll be maximum resolution of 720p, and then there'll also be the part that I upload later to YouTube that'll have a similar title, and it'll be about 30 minutes long. It won't include the pre-show, it won't include the post-show, but it will be at 1080p. So if you missed the show and you want to just watch the show portion, you want to watch in high resolution, hit that one. If you don't care about the resolution and you want to see all the comments and all the crazy stuff we talk about before and after the show, and you want to see about who was it? About William Lee's refreshments in the post show today, then you'll definitely be able to find out about that. Anyway, it's too crazy. Thank you for watching. We're delighted that you could be with us today. What am I trying to figure out here? I guess we're just gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna close out of here. We're gonna have a double graphic again. So I'll warn you that in advance. But it's okay. It is gonna be okay. Y'all take care. We'll see you next week. And we are out. Okay. Wow. Wasn't that underwhelming? Gee whiz. I guess we should put our little crawl back on. And then adjust everything accordingly. Gee-miny. Multi-view. Pre-show lower third. Did that work? No, we got to go a little bit higher. There we go. All right. Bet the long version gets more hits. Merle, that's going to be interesting. You might be right. You might be right. And we'll just have to see. Post-show is on a different budget. Yeah, that's right. Somewhere there's a room with peanuts all over the floor. Yeah, it is up in Simsbury, Connecticut. Rich, you're very kind. Thank you. The long version. So Jerry says, is there a live show right now? You mean at this very instant? Well, yes. Maybe Jerry is not watching. Maybe he's got us like bookmarked or something like that. We ought to give him the URL of the show so that he can watch. Okay, he's got it. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. I mean, if you can't get here on time, just get here when you can. That's all right. All right, so Rich is here. Didn't see you slip in, Rich. Who else has slipped in during the show? when I wasn't paying attention. And William Lee, welcome. We're glad you're here. I didn't mean to pick on you. Yeah, I know. Let's change the graphic. Make you happy there. Go to the graphic page. Title editor. Post. There we go. Oops. Nope, we'll do it that way. How about that? There we go. All right, everybody's good. Thank you. Jerry wants me to send you guys an email reminding you to come. So if you want to go to easternshorebroadcasting.com, go to the email thing and sign up so that when I send you an email, you'll get it. William Lee says, pick all you want. That's great. I love that sense of humor. But actually, William Lee is bringing Pepsis for everybody, and that is my favorite soda drink. Oh, but Jens says, despite not coming late, I'd like to bring refreshments. There's a Danish soda called Faxikandi. Faxikandi, tasting very good like Sprite, just better. You should try it. Ooh, I like it. All right. And Buddy makes his own Sprite. That's good. All right. And Jan is not all things from Denmark is good. All right, we'll let those guys fight it out amongst themselves. Well, let's see. So we somewhat navigated the gotta stream somewhere problem. I guess we could have streamed to Facebook, but how in the world was I going to get you? I mean, it's hard enough to get you to YouTube without getting you to Facebook. I just don't see Facebook cutting it. Oh, by the way, did you see what a nice day it is out there today? Actually, I wish that was a rolling video because then we could see the waves crashing up on the beach. But that's out my back window. Yep. Yeah, had a great chat with Rudy. Thanks, Mike. And got some, really great background information on what he's doing with Joycaster now with Switchboard. So it does seem that it's going to be a little more aimed at professionals. So I think that's kind of the, that we're kind of the, at least in my mind, those of us that are amateurs are leaning more towards the professional side of amateur. And some are also past the amateur part and into the professional field. And I think that's the direction that Switchboard is going. William says, please no Facebook. Well, and Rudy and Rich says, go where the viewers are. And let's make a distinction, and probably should have made this as part of the show, but let's make a distinction between people and viewers. Viewers go to YouTube. People go to Facebook. Now, do viewers go to Facebook? Well, yes. Of that subset of people, some of those are YouTube viewers that enjoy YouTube or enjoy video, and wouldn't be offended by seeing a video. I mean, I see videos on Facebook all the time. Some of them I watch, some of them I don't. Am I going to stumble across a live video there? Am I going to go for a regular weekly show? No. But hey, if the best grandma can do is bring up Facebook, then that may be a great way to stream some live videos so that she can watch. Buddy says, the more outputs, the more receivers. Well, I agree with that, but I also think there's a balance between the work that you have to do on the front end versus the payoff of viewers on the back end. And if you have a limited amount of time to dedicate on the front end, I think you want to maximize that with viewers on the back end. So if I were going to be doing live sports of some kind and I didn't care what happened to my product, i.e., I didn't care what other advertising got associated with my product. I wouldn't mind putting it on YouTube. If I want to restrict what the eyeballs see and make sure they only see my sponsors that might be somehow wrapped around my video, then I'm going to have a paid service like Dacast or somebody else like that, BitGravity, maybe somebody. But I don't think as a quasi-professional, I'll call myself quasi, as a quasi-professional, I'm going to use Facebook as anything more than a novelty. Rich says Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, etc. Yeah, except I wouldn't put Facebook Live. Now, do I use Facebook? Yes. If you haven't already seen it, you need to go to our Eastern Shore Broadcasting Facebook page, because we're always posting, at least not daily, but a lot of times every day or more than once a day, some little news items about what's going on there. And if you do, go there and like our page, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. Same thing on Twitter. We're posting on Twitter things that we think folks will be interested in, as well as updates about what's going on. Are we in pre-show? What's the subject of the show today? Al's here. Welcome, Al. Boy, Al gets to bring the refreshments now. Folks, this is Al Bunt from Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, who has done amazing things in church broadcasting. Wow, Al is here. We have arrived if Al is here. Now, everybody's here. All right, let's see. You guys are moving along too quick for me. Scott says, I would use Facebook for casual stuff. I'm agreeing with that. Buddy says, I shared Tom's videos on Facebook. Easy way to send to my boss. I agree with that too, but I want to differentiate that with a regular show. I don't know that I'm going to send somebody a link. I don't know. Am I offending people by taking that stance? I don't mean to. Venn diagram. Thank you, Rich. I was thinking of that, but I couldn't think of the word. Tommy says, I don't think I can search Facebook for a certain subject. Jose says maybe Facebook will be for really small videos. Scott has got an interesting comment. He would say, I would do a 10 to 15 minute Facebook Live teasing the show during the week or weekend, then go to YouTube Live, etc. for the full show. Well, that's a thought. That's a thought. I can see, Scott, let me take that idea just a little bit further. I can't see doing that live, but I can see recording it. Although, from what I understand with Facebook Live, that anything you do that's less than 45 minutes does get recorded. So I can do it live, and then I don't have to upload it. I just do it live as if it was going to be recorded. Yeah, that works. I could see that. In fact, I might do that next week. I might put a video on my Facebook page just as an experiment, so you guys can go there and tell me if you think it works. Yes, Mike. Rudy said that you guys used to work together. All right, Buddy says huge for NFL. Buddy, tell me what you are referring to so that I know what context we are in right there. Tommy's got some NASA software. Oh, NSA, excuse me. Especially those who do not get the NFL network. Oh, okay. So the NFL is going to stream to Facebook Live? That's interesting. NFLcommunications.com, pages, National Football League, and Twitter announced streaming partnerships for Thursday Night Football. That's cool. Al, I did not give up on Dacast. This is actually the first show that we've streamed in a long time that was not with Dacast, but Dacast was having, yeah, Jan says it, was having little buffer issues this morning. Rich says we've done short Facebook Live videos promoting the main stream. Okay, okay. I'm beginning to warm up to that idea. And Jose agrees with Scott. Tommy says 90 minutes for Facebook. Okay, hour and a half. And Buddy says NFL streaming to Twitter. Okay, now I'm caught up with everybody. Good. Good. I could see if, I mean, I just can't see. I was trying to talk myself into doing a show on Facebook Live, and I just can't see it. I just can't see it. Anyway, that's just me. You know, I don't mean to offend anybody that can see themselves doing it, because maybe there's a way that's just, you know, it's the perfect solution for what you want. And that was the thought I had the other day, is that it was kind of the solution in search of a problem. They've created this thing because they want to stay up with the Joneses, or get ahead of the Joneses, as the case may be. But I don't know that it's bringing a lot to the table that wasn't already there in better ways. Buddy streamed a wedding on Facebook Live. Ah, there you go. That's a great one. Stream a wedding on Facebook Live. Facebook is really trying to improve live. I just got a survey on it. Well, you know, does Facebook want to be a CDN? Are they going to allow you to embed? Is there going to be a benefit to Facebook to just provide video? What is it about Facebook? I mean, YouTube has got the search capability and the critical mass of all the video out there. So if you want to know something, or if you're interested in Russian truck crashes, you can go watch those for hours. But how is Facebook going to bring something to the table? I just don't see it. Buddy streamed a birthday party. Yeah. Rich says Facebook pushes all Facebook Live feeds to the top of the notifications for your contacts. Okay. All right. Al says stream on Facebook on his church's Facebook page. Might have to try it for a backup server. If only Google would buy Facebook. Interesting, buddy. I'm sure there are a lot of Facebook investors that feel the same way. Sony PlayStation has IPTV service, so why not? And Xbox. Mike, the voice of reason. Watching a live show on Facebook was not a great experience, in my opinion. And Rich says 1.5 billion subscribers. Yeah, how many subscribers on YouTube? But, you know, I don't mean to pin one against the other. It's not the same thing. Jill says Microsoft owns Skype. There you go. We're definitely not going to use Skype for anything. Google plus Facebook equals world domination in the bad way, says Jan. Live streams work best on mobile devices. Ah, there's an interesting. Facebook Live isn't that bad on mobile, from Facebook anyway. And William Lee says not all folks are sleds to Facebook. Good point. I like it. I like it. Good discussion. Good discussion. Thank you guys for sharing. I feel like we've kind of covered the subject. I was like, okay, how can we do Facebook? I'm actually meeting with somebody on Friday that wants to set up oh, maybe I shouldn't say it because it's his new business. Well, if he doesn't go into it, I'll tell you about it. Rich, I agree. It is the Wild Wild West. And it's in some ways, it's also like the gold rush. And if you can stake a claim to a piece of virtual real estate or a virtual idea or concept that becomes kind of territory, I think that's good. And you know, I don't know about you, but I'm trying to stake my claim. It's not a big claim, but anybody that's an idiot feels right comfortable here. You know, let's learn how to do this together, and we'll make mistakes and go back and correct them and figure out better ways to do it. And it's a journey. It's not a one-stop shop. At least that's kind of the impression I'm beginning to get from it. Looking through the list, see if anybody else has popped in when I wasn't looking. Brian says he knows how to stream to Facebook from vMix. Aha. Tommy, I did a Facebook Live Saturday with the gospel group I work with. Local consumption. I like it. I like it. And that, you know, that's probably a pretty targeted audience. Tom is missing the very bottom chat, so he is message behind. Actually, I'm looking at chat, not here, but somewhere else, so I am getting that. Rich is just a prospector with a donkey. Okay. And Buddy says, yeah, the YouTube ticker is in the way. That's right. Does Microsoft offer some social-based video-capable service? I don't think so. I mean, their video service is Skype and Skype TX, and I don't know what else they may have gotten from that. Edward, have you seen the knockoff Magewell? Yes, the knockoff Magewell devices, and seen a lot of problems with them too. But they're cheap. They're definitely cheap. Oh, Al, how much notice did you get on the cache issue today? Hard to switch your web page embed code on short notice. I didn't get any notice. I mean, when I was doing my pre-show routine, which is to check everything and send out a feed and let it run for 5 or 10 minutes and then switch over to the low quality feed. The 720p feed was buffering after about the first minute or two, which, you know, sometimes it takes a while for the stream to settle down, and so I wasn't too worried about that. But when it continued to buffer, I knew I had a problem. And then when I went to the 180p feed and it was buffering, I knew I had a problem. And I had good internet connection speed here, not just on the production PC, but also on the laptop that's actually doing the encoding and streaming. That's when I knew I had a problem, and I was like, okay, how do I fix this problem? Al, I didn't have a backup plan. And so, but I've used YouTube Live a time or two, so I went in and got what I needed, and thanks to folks like Mike and Scott and others who kind of coached me through putting some of it up. I think the one thing we struggled with was the full screen button in the down over there. I had unintentionally disabled it. Apparently you have to intentionally enable it. So that was the issue. But I think you know, I just threw up another web page, put the embed code on it, copied over the chat embed code. The difference was Al was, you know, kind of getting everybody ported over to that new place, and also the unintended consequence was, what do you do with folks that are cruising YouTube and having to stumble over your live show? You know, I'm replying in pre-show and post-show to the chat room, and the chat room, unless I put it up here, the chat room's not visible to anybody that's watching on YouTube. So actually, I guess I can take that scroll down because I've got the chat up there. So anyway, it was a good exercise. I mean, it was a worthwhile exercise to be able to kind of get that put together. And where did I put that thing? Oh, there it is. We'll take it off right there. There we go. Jill says, will doing a preset in vMix when I'm trying to go to Skype stop my PC from blue screen crashes? Probably not. If your PC is doing blue screen crashes, a preset in vMix is probably not going to make any difference. And there are tons of reasons why it can do blue screen, Jill. Um, I'm sorry. That's no fun. Most of the time I've had that situation, it's been PCs that I needed to retire because I was trying to make them do more than they could do. Carrie Johnson, welcome, Carrie. I used vMix for the first time the past 2 weeks to incorporate AV gigs on big screens instead of my old switcher. Had at least 3 unexpected scenarios thrown at me, and vMix let me do it all. Yes, all right. Love to hear more about it. That's great, Carrie. I applaud your efforts. That is super. And it's also one of the things that I think is really interesting that you didn't mention about that is that if, and I don't know what you were doing, whether you were just throwing up PowerPoints or graphics or those kinds of things, but if you were throwing up live video, I'd love to hear how that did in terms of the latency, the difference between live and what appeared on the big screen. If you did anything that included a camera, I'd love to hear more about that. Jan says, I'm just thinking that it might make sense to double, triple stream to all the major networks to reach as big a potential as possible. Well, that's what the folks at Switchboard Live, formerly Joycaster, I think, agree, that you can use their service to stream to multiple destinations by sending one stream. And so if you have a bandwidth limitation or not enough PC to encode multiple streams, enough PC muscle, then something like that is really going to play in really, really well. And Buddy agrees with Jan. What did Jan say that he agreed with? Oh, okay. Yeah. Rich says, I think in the maturity level of live stream to mainstream, this technology is at a 6 or 7 out of 10. 10 is public acceptance and knowledge. Rich, if you include ESPN taking all of their programming and making it available now on ESPN 3 or 360 or whatever it is, I would agree with you and say that it might even be more than that. Buddy, so VidBlaster 4 versus VidBlaster X versus vMix, any comments? No comment. No, as of today or yesterday, vMix 4 is no more. vMix X.5 is the new vMix offering, and it is available subscription service only. If you have a vMix 4 license that's less than 365 days old, you can get a free upgrade to vMix X.5. If you are 366 days, you are SOL. I had a customer who got their vMix license, a VidBlaster license a year ago yesterday, and another customer that had got their license a year ago Monday, and could not get them grandfathered in. So you got it 365 days from today. But other comments, vMix is killing. vMix is killing it. Both VidBlaster and Wirecast have gone to a subscription model. Wirecast monthly, VidBlaster annual. And the reason is because vMix was kicking their butt on the license. Their license was cheaper, their software was better. It had more features. And more features were being added more frequently than either of the other two. In fact, the other two put together couldn't keep up with the development of vMix. And so the only way was to compete on price by making, it a weekly, well, it's just about weekly, but a monthly subscription with Wirecast, what I think is about $12 or $15, and then with VidBlaster, which is annually at $99. And so it's, the price is going to intrigue people, and they're going to say, well, I don't need all of this. I just need to do a few things, and I'll pay $99 a year for it. And if it doesn't work, hey, I've only lost $99. And I can understand that. That's not a bad way to look at it. Update Windows. Yeah, I'm still on Windows 7, and I'm coming close to going back to 10. Had a bad experience with 10. Tommy hasn't studied vMix Social yet. Could that be used for a chat? No. not really. But I need to do a show on vMix Social, Tommy. Scott doesn't like vMix Social, no Instagram. I think they're working on that. Carrie pulled a PowerPoint from NDI on a Mac. Yes, good job, good job, good job, good job. Jill wants Twitter feeds on her vMix. It's already there, Jill. Pro Presenter is the way you go if you want Twitter and Instagram stuff. Scott, yes, can you expand on that a little bit? Carrie, my video is transmitted wirelessly, so a tiny bit of latency, but was able to delay the audio on my digital mixer so the live feed's lips look synced. Okay, that's cool. I like that. Scott says, unless you use Tagboard, which is a lot of money. Well, if you're using a lot of money, you're in the wrong place. We don't use a lot of money. Rafael is here. Yes, welcome. Yes, but you have to remember that when you upgrade to VidBlaster X, where'd it go? I lost him. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, no, I lost his comment somewhere. It advanced too quickly for me. When you upgrade to VidBlaster X, you have to pay for it next year. If you stay with 4, you have it. Well, that's true. That is true. Social media software does not collect the complete data, right? So vMix X5 versus VidBlaster X. That might be a good study for a show. I mean, it's a long discussion, buddy. It's a long discussion, but it's a good one. Downside of vMix Social is that messages are displayed one by one. It's not showed a list of messages. It depends on your needs. Good point, Jan. Carrie used a Sony VX2100 SD cam plugged in. That's cool. HD would look better. VidBlaster X Alpha was just released, so we can't compare it now, but you know we all are for vMix, right? Yeah. Jill says, John, so what does it look like? Yeah. Jill, there's a video that the vMix guys have done on vMix Social. So if you go to YouTube and if you just Google vMix Social, it'll probably come up. It's good there. Buddy says, but Tom is the VidBlaster guy. Tom? I used to be the VidBlaster guy. I guess I'm still the VidBlaster guy. I'm just kind of in retirement. Brian, we are cheap. Definitely. Money, what's that? Haven't seen any on my end in a while. Al, you're too funny. Jan, the title, Tom, you are using could be used for vMix Social messages. You can design your own titles. Yes, that's true. Rich, did anyone else catch FB live test with vMix last night? It was pretty cool. vMix guys were testing last night. Yes, I did. In fact, I even did I retweet it? I think I saw it on Twitter and I retweeted it. Or maybe I saw it on, no, I saw it on Facebook and I shared it. That's what it was, of course, because it was Facebook. Yeah, and the thing is, it's just a CD. From vMix's perspective, it's just a CDN. Jan, another way of integrating different types of chat is to pull it in using browser-based displays, just like Tom is doing right now. Yes, yes, and this is just using the what's it called? It's the one of the new features in 17. It's called web browser, and so what I've done is I have made a chat page that's just chat. And it's a URL on. In fact, I'll give it to you right here if you want. It's part of my website, but it's not. You can't really get to it unless you've got the URL. And that's what I look at, and that's what I'm capturing here. And then I'm also, kind of trimming it up so that it'll just fit in here. And I think it's just. It's quick and dirty and it does the job, and for what we're doing right here, it's all we need. We don't need to be super fancy in all this. Let's see. I feel like I need to make an adjustment here. There we go. Now I feel better. Scott says, I work on some pretty high-end productions, so excuse me. Chris, web browser. Yes, that's right. But Scott's working on some cheap alternatives. I like cheap. Great asset. Carrie, Tom, does the difference of the vMix HD version refer to input or output? Yes, both. Trying to decide if I need the 350 version of using standard def just to go into projectors and screens. Probably not. The difference between SD and HD is I think SD is limited to maybe a max resolution of 500, 550, 576, something like that. And so that's going to be input, output, cameras, graphics, you know, whatever. You're just not going to be able to get anything higher resolution than that. You still have 1,000 inputs. You just don't have the ability to record, stream, or do anything with, I mean, you can't even bring in an HD camera. It won't work because you can't get a resolution that high. It's not like you could bring in an HD camera and then, you know, downscale it so that you could process it and output it SD or record it SD or anything like that. It won't even accept the camera. The good news is if you've got vMix SD, which is $150 US, and you want to upgrade to vMix HD, which is $350 US, and you can do it through my website, you just pay the difference in price. If you've got a valid license, of course, if it's a crack, that doesn't count. But if you've got a valid license, you just upgrade for the difference in price. Web browser is a great feature. A lot of high-end systems don't have that. Chris, you know, before vMix had it, I didn't know anybody that had it, and I love it. Now, sometimes it takes a little while to populate. The chat here I rebuilt a few minutes ago, and I think it took about a minute to repopulate. But that's maybe more Chatwing's problem, really. John says there are a bunch of paid services that will scrape messages from multitudes and consolidate them into one feed. Yeah, I've heard of those. Jill says, is the web browser feature vMix in the low-end purchase, or do I have to buy the 350 version? Well, Jill, you can answer your own question, my dear. If you have vMix 17, go to Add Input, look in the bottom of the input list. If web browser is there, you got it. If not, you don't. But I think you do. I think it's available in every version, the free version all the way up to the $1,200 version. Rafael, are you going to stay with YouTube Live? I see latency is not huge, 10 to 11 seconds. 10 to 11 seconds is what we're catching all the way across. And it wasn't my intention. Let me put it that way, and I'll have to think about it. 10 to 11 seconds is not bad. The very first time I tried YouTube Live, it was 35 to 55 seconds. And that was intolerable for this kind of exchange. It wasn't any fun. Definitely wasn't any fun for me, and I know it wasn't any fun for you guys. So we'll see. Carrie says, thanks, 350 it is. Yeah, I think once you go HD, you won't go back. I mean, I fought and was an advocate for standard definition for years and said, you know, nobody needs to see me any better than you already can. And once I did SD, once I did HD, I was like, yeah, but there are things that I'm illustrating that look so much better in HD. So, yeah, Chris is going to bail Jill out and say, yes, web browser is also free in the free version. You are absolutely right. Edward says, spend the extra $300 and get it. You're right. Oh, thank you. And he says, get it for me. Thank you, Edward. I like it. And if you're making money, spend the $350 for sure. Yep. Jan says, both OBS and XSplit have browser input long before vMix. All right, cool. But vMix has the best working implementation. Aha, sometimes it's not best to be the early adopter. Jens, have you chosen engaged, live stream, or buffered? I've chosen low latency. Rafael says, I'm a bit surprised it's that low. Yeah, it's the new YouTube low latency mode. But they're still re-encoding it. I mean, if you guys click the little icon down, well, I guess it's down over there, the little gear icon, you've got choices, or I had choices of like 144p through 720p, and I'm streaming at 720p, so they're knocking it down for everybody else. And I looked at it on my phone, and it looked really good on the phone. Tommy says, I bought my Cord Control 2 through your site. Where is my kickback? Did you get it? That's the question. Jill says, you mean I'm in standard def? Yes, dear. You are in standard def. Probably. If you've got anything less, well, if you've got either the basic SD or SD, the free version or the 150 version, you're in standard definition. But you move forward a little bit at a time. You can't eat an elephant in one bite. Giles says, you've sold me on live streaming on YouTube. This is much better. I can play it on mobile, stream it to the computer, the Chromecast TV without having to hook up the computer. The video is smoother. Cool. Well, Giles, you may have sold me on it. It was not, I didn't wake up this morning saying, today I'm going to stream on YouTube Live. It was not on my radar at all. Raphael says, yes, I have 5 qualities too, and I can rewind back to see what was earlier and not wait for you to upload the recording. I don't understand about 5 qualities. Oh, 5 quality, 5 resolutions. Gotcha. Yes. Yes, and the DVR function. That is one of the options that I enabled in this. And I remember asking the Decast Greg Ellis at NAB last month when Decast was getting DVR function, and he was kind of like, well, it's on our roadmap. Well, I want to hear it's coming out next week. Tommy says yes, and I like it a lot. Yen says, so there's no practical difference with low latency versus buffer besides the longer latency. Quality differences. I don't know. Don't know. You're asking a question that like Martin K would have to answer. Carrie says, ching ching, you make money while you were talking. Tom, 350 version it was. Thanks again. Oh, well, thank you. That's cool. All right, Chris. Hope we didn't get you so excited you can't sleep. Scott, I use the analytics on Facebook Live to engage the audience. It's great. Oh, YouTube Live, not Facebook Live. All right, you got to give me more on this. I use the analytics on YouTube Live to engage the audience. I don't understand. I don't understand it at all. Rich says DVR is great. I had a race official rewind live contest to review an issue for the race on live stream. That's cool. That's great. That's really neat. And so does Raphael thinks so too. And Scott says you can even slow down the video. Like I'm talking too fast. I know he means in general. But I want to hear about this YouTube live analytics, how that engages the audience. I mean, I know I can look at it. Can I look at it now? Let's see if I can look at it now. YouTube. You guys want to see what I'm doing? Well, let's just do it this way then. Copy. And let's do a web browser. We'll put in the YouTube URL. So we'll open up a YouTube. We'll let that populate. And we can speed it up too. You can only speed it up, I think, because you can't go faster than what I'm speaking. All right, now this is the web browser, YouTube Live, right there, right now. It is there, but it's not up. Here it comes. It's gradually populating. And that's really small for me to see, so I'm going to pull a trick here, and I'm going to take the output, and I'm going to make that go full screen on my second monitor so that I can see it. And let's sign in. Tommy wants Carrie's kickback also. Tommy? Jeez, dude. All right, let's see. Scott says you can get where everyone is watching from on your stream with Google Analytics while the stream is going on and directly say, thanks for watching from UK. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I like that. Jose said, I'm learning so much here. Thanks a lot. Well, Jose, you're not the only one. I'm learning too. Jan says that he thinks that's a great idea for Scott. All right. Apparently, I can't sign in up here in the top right. Well, never. Yes, I can. If I can remember my login. Oh, you know what? I can't sign in on this because you can't use a keyboard. You can't use a keyboard in vMix web browser. How about that? Yeah, I can't do it. I guess I could. Can I go ahead and log in over here? And will it pull my login? Let's see. Bear with me just a second, guys. Oh, yeah, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, you need to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Definitely. All right, I'm going to go to the live streaming page. Well, let's see if we can go into this one. And YouTube is saying, actually it's telling me on this page, that YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As a result, viewers will experience buffering. Huh. Well, I'm sorry for that, if that's the case. Well, it doesn't look like I can do anything with showing you guys the YouTube page. I guess I could capture it, but I was just looking for that analytics feature. It's probably under optional features. No. Under, oh, there we go. All right, it says 33 watching now, and we have how many in chat? 25. So there are people that are watching. Oh, now it's down to 31. Just as soon as you mention it. And we can watch we can check full analytics. And real time. Automatically updates every 7 seconds. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We'll have to go into that with more detail later. All right. Scott says we do a high school football broadcast. Yeah. That gets viewers from all around the world. Yep. I remember doing soccer, and boy, we had dads whose kids were playing soccer with us, and they were stationed. This was during the Iraq War. They were stationed in Iraq, and I get up in the middle of the night so they could watch their kids. Yeah, Rafael, I can copy and paste, but I can't log in. I wanted to log in and show you guys my analytics while we were live, and I could do a capture. Yeah, I could do a capture of the desktop. But it was taking a while to respond, and it wasn't any fun. Kent's here. Tom, do you still use Decast, or did you jump to YouTube Live? Came in late. Well, yeah. Oh, and Tommy says, yes. Kent, he is YouTube Live today due to a cast buffering. And yeah, Kent, today was the first day we did it. We might do it again. I don't know. I'm beginning to become convinced that this is doable. There's about a 10-second buffer or delay between me saying it and you hearing it. And that's not intolerable. When I tried YouTube before and it was 35 to 55 seconds, that was intolerable. And to cast Flash is 3 seconds, but to cast HTML5 is 35 seconds. So here I've got, or actually, if you watch me on your phone, you are getting 10-second delay with YouTube versus 35 with the cast. So for folks that have lower bandwidth or have smaller screens and don't need to eat up a bunch of bandwidth, this is a great option. And it may be that I can experiment with doing a 720p flash feed and also a 720p YouTube feed. But I don't know the extra 7 seconds are worth that much. We'll have to see. Scott says the analytics will even tell me what quality people are watching in, the stream quality, the resolution. If it doesn't tell you now, it will when the stream ends. Okay, that'd be really interesting. That's good stuff to know. Scott James, man, for your first show, you brought a lot to the table. Dude, you got to come back. Edward says, I was watching from my phone and desktop. Less delay on my phone than on my desktop. Yeah, Edward, somebody else said that they were getting buffering with their desktop, but not on their phone. And that may be something to do with the resolution. Although I did test before the show started, but while we were in pre-show, and the delay for the 144p feed was the same as for the 720p feed. And it was all about 10 or 11 seconds. Rafael, I meant log in with copy and pasting your log. You can't copy and paste. Yeah, can't copy and paste. There's no copy paste ability built into vMix's web browser at this point. Buddy has to dash. Has to go sleep through a meeting. Thanks for coming. Loved having you. Brought a lot to the table. Always neat to have folks that bring to the table. Rich says, for the pre and post show, can you add the clock ticker so we can play? I can do that. Dude, I am all over that. I am a clock ticker guy. Let's set it to, I don't know. We'll set it to an hour. And let's move it slightly over. I think that'll be a good spot. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going to put a time in the chat because I'm assuming the chat has very little delay, and I'm going to put in 59:25, and then when I hit it, it'll go, and that should be. Oops, nope, I let it go by. So let's say 59:15. Ready, set, go. That was 59:15 right there. So you guys can count until you see 59:15 on the screen, and see what the delay is. Martin S. did have buffering. Do you still have buffering? Rafael says, I'm right. Thank you. Martin S. may have been on my end, though. Well, the internet's a big, long chain with lots of different links, and your chain has got some of the same links in it as Rafael's chain, because he's in Poland, but not all the same links. So who knows where the link is the buffer link. Giles just had some buffering caused by his ADLS line not resetting, not us. Williams says he ran out of ice. Jose, who is in Spain, says no buffering. So where you are, yeah, interesting. Okay. So what kind of delay are you guys getting? Are you seeing the 10 to 11? Let's see, Merle, John, Dave, Bill, Andrew, Giles, Tommy, Jill, Mike, Martin, Rafael, guest 442, welcome, didn't see you slip in. Edward, Kent, Rich, Jerry, Carey, Brian, Jens, Jose, William, Scott, Martin K. Good deal. Whew. Okay. Interesting show today. Interesting show today. You know, it's funny. Some days the content is what makes the show interesting. Other days, like today, it's the process of the show that I think was almost probably more interesting than the show itself. Oh, Rich said the real-time clock. Oh, okay. I don't know how to do that. Let's see, is there a way to do that through vMix? Can you put a clock in there? Is that a setting? Duration, stop time, display, format. I think that's not a setting. Yeah, I don't see a setting on that one. But I could, let's see if we can put a web browser in. Let me find a URL for the time. With seconds. World clock. I don't want that. Somebody just give me a clock. What's a good clock? Yen said you just add a timer without changing anything. Okay, well, I'll give that a try. So we'll do that on a different input, title, text, timer. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right. Oh, I see. There's a code there for it. Gotcha. Gotcha. Bingo, bingo, bango. There we go. Everybody's happy. Martin asks, my buffering was during the show, post-show's been fine. Well, that could have been recording on my end that was causing buffering. Rafael says 13 seconds. Tommy says 30 seconds. Rafael says, before you check the latency, click on the live sign above the timeline on YouTube Player. Oh, yes, because if you had some buffering at any point, you're still behind by that amount. So you want to get back up to live, dead live. Yep, that's what he's talking about. Edward says 19 seconds. Really? Huh. Okay. Rich says 30 seconds. Wow. Wow. Okay, so let me go to my own YouTube page and see what I see, so I can see what you guys are seeing. Recommended live streams. I'm not even on my own live stream page. How about that? Oh, here we go. I'm on the Watch It Again section where it says Live Now. That's pretty wild. So if I go to my own Eastern Shore Broadcasting page, I can't see myself live. That's pretty dumb. And I can't see live. I guess I have to go to live streaming. It still says the stream health is red. Video output low. And what are we seeing here? About a 10-second delay for me. Yep. All right. 4 seconds. Says gassed 342. That's good. 4 seconds is amazing. Merle says 20 seconds. Gas has got 4 seconds and they're over in Europe. Well, your time may be different. And Giles is on British Telecom. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, I'll be interested to go back and look at the YouTube recording of this part and see how it did. That's kind of interesting. 342 is 200 megs down, 20 megs up. That's pretty stout. That's pretty stout. Well, folks, I think we've about covered all the important stuff in the world. I am going to upload the show portion of the show, which will be 1080p. Be interested to see if the 1080p really looks different than the 720p. Thanks, Dave. Glad to have you. And 442 says 13 to 14 seconds from Chatwing message to see it on YouTube. That's good. Got it. Good. Bye, Tommy. Bye, Merle. Thank you guys for tuning in. It was a treat to be here for me, as always. And I hope you guys got some good stuff out of it. And you know, we all learned some stuff. 320 up, 20 down. I'm loving that. That's amazing, Jose. Great to see this. Where in the USA are you? I am in USA, on the Gulf of Mexico, just west of Florida, in the state of Alabama. Thank you, Rich. I will look forward to chatting with you tomorrow. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Giles. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. And we will do this again. Let's do it again next week. What do you think? Next week, maybe 3 o'clock Eastern. What is that? 8 o'clock in London. And we have any of our Australian friends watching today? I don't see any by list. And so, you know, what time is it in Spain at 3 o'clock Eastern, U.S.? What time is it in Poland? What time is it in Reeltown, Alabama? Bye, Kent. See you later. Thank you, William. Thank you, Martin. It's 8 p.m. Okay, thank you very much. That's great. That is great. Great, 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 great. For those of you that are suffering like a 30-second delay or something like that, I'm going to leave this stream going so it'll play the buffer out for you, because if I cut it right now, the next 30 seconds will just disappear. So 22:41, 9 p.m. in Poland. That's interesting. Okay, nope. Gas 342 wasn't asking about the current time for you, but what time would 3 o'clock Eastern in the United States be for you, wherever you are? 9 p.m. in Spain, 9 p.m. in Poland. Carrie sent me an email. Good deal. Thank you. Love it. Washington, D.C., 3 p.m. That's right. Washington, D.C. is where the DeCast server is, probably right outside of Washington. Currently, it is 22:41 in Denmark. So that means 11:15 almost at night. Holy cow. You're up late. Hope you're behaving. All right. We're done. We're done. I will catch you guys, as they say, on the flip side.